Hey, what's up guys? My name is Irina and welcome to my channel where I review everything tech. It's been a while since the release of the new 2018 iPad, the 6th generation model, but it doesn't matter if you're a student, a creator, or just someone who simply wants to watch a movie after work. Having a tablet still makes a lot of sense today. And if you already live in the Apple ecosystem, or you're simply someone who wants to dabble in the world of iPads, you will naturally face a very tough choice. Do you go for the new 2018 iPad or spend more money on the last year's iPad Pro? I've been using both of these devices and I hope this video will help you figure out which one is the right one for you. So let's get started! The unboxing experiences of these two iPads are pretty much the same. In the box you get an iPad, a lightning cable, and a USB power adapter. Let's first talk looks and design. The color options for these iPads are slightly different. They both come in a silver, space gray, and gold colors, but as you can see, the gold color options look quite different on these two models. And when it comes to the iPad Pro, you could also get it in the rose gold color. When we look at their dimensions, the iPad Pro is a little bit bigger, a little bit thinner, and it has smaller bezels. However, their weights are identical if you choose to go with the Wi-Fi version, and the iPad Pro is lighter by just 1 gram when you compare the two cellular models. Also, it's important to note that while the Apple Pencil will work with both of these devices, you can only use the Apple Smart Keyboard with the iPad Pro. Let's talk about their main selling point, the display. The iPad Pro has a bigger 10.5-inch diagonal screen, and unlike the iPad, it has a True Tone display that adjusts its white balance to match the light around you for a more natural and accurate viewing experience. The iPad Pro's display also features ProMotion, a technology that delivers refresh rates of up to 120 Hz, which improves responsiveness and makes the motion content smoother and provides fluid scrolling. And right now, let's check how it actually works. From my experience, all the swipes in fact are quicker and snappier on the iPad Pro. And if you will use the Apple Pencil, as you can see, there is a very small delay on the iPad, although it doesn't affect the general result, and all the drawing process feels pretty easy and effortless. Switching to the iPad Pro, the line appears instantly and follows the pencil as fast as I draw, and it feels as natural as if I drew on a piece of paper. So definitely the iPad Pro has the advantage of being faster, but it's really up to you and your needs if this small delay is a problem for you. Also, the Pro version has the anti-reflective coating on its display that reduces glare and makes content easier to see indoors and outside. And honestly guys, I was pretty skeptical about it in the beginning, but after comparing two devices, I have to admit that yes, there is a difference, and it's definitely good to have it. However, keep in mind that this anti-reflective coating doesn't eliminate the reflections 100%. When it comes to colors and brightness, I honestly cannot say there is a dramatic difference between them. It really depends on the picture. But overall, I noticed that the whites look slightly brighter and the blacks look slightly darker on the Pro version. Also, if you look at the screen from an angle, the image will look less washed out on the iPad Pro. Both of these iPads have a Retina display that have a higher pixel density so that the pixels are not visible to the naked eye. Now let's talk about the cameras on these devices. When it comes to the rear cameras, we get 12 megapixels on the iPad Pro and 8 megapixels on the iPad. And when it comes to the selfie cameras, we get 7 megapixels and 1.2 megapixels respectively. Yes guys, that's right, 1.2 megapixels. And the first time I heard about it, I could not believe it either, and had to double check the official spec sheet. It's also important to mention that the iPad Pro has a larger aperture on the rear camera that makes it stand out in the low light situations. Also, the iPad Pro's camera features the optical image stabilization, so you have a better chance of avoiding blurry looking photos. The first thing that strikes you when you compare the photos of these devices is how much more vivid and saturated the colors from the iPad Pro look. Also, the pictures look sharper and more detailed. And when it comes to the challenging light situations, the iPad Pro produces a more detailed shot, while the iPad just makes everything brighter. Also, if you take a look at the corners of the shot, you will see that the iPad's image is a lot noisier than the iPad Pro's. Speaking of videos, the 2017 iPad Pro lets you shoot in 4K, while the 2018 iPad will only let you shoot in HD. And when it comes to videos, we see the similar story here, where the iPad Pro is cranking out much better quality videos. Alright guys, this is the front-facing camera test, so this is how it sounds and looks on the iPad. And now I'm switching to the iPad Pro and you can hear and see the difference. Next, let's talk about the audio quality. This is something that is quite different on these devices. The iPad Pro has 4 speakers, which definitely makes the sound much louder. As for the iPad, it's not as loud as the Pro with just 2 speakers, but it still has a decent sound for a tablet, and you should not have any issues if you're using it to watch a movie or listen to music. When it comes to battery life, I don't feel like there is a clear winner here. Both these devices could last me through the day of moderate use, but of course you'll need to keep a charger nearby if you plan to do something extreme like continuous hours of gaming. I will conclude my comparison review of these two iPads with the question of price. Yes, the iPad Pro is more expensive because you're paying for better specs and features. But the question of which iPad to get will ultimately come down to whether or not you absolutely need to use those specs and features. I think both of these products are great, and the cheaper 2018 model does not really leave me disappointed by the performance and overall feel of the product. On the other hand, if you get the iPad Pro and spend a few days with it, you will most likely never want to downgrade yourself to the 2018 model. However, if you decide to save some money and go for more affordable 2018 iPad, I have no doubt that you will absolutely love it and have no regrets that you didn't go for the Pro. So that's all for now. Let me know what you guys think and hit me up on the comments below.